the blue corner, an undefeated mixed martial artist, holding a perfect professional record. 14 wins, no losses. He stands 62 inches tall, weighing in at 183 pounds, flying out of the United Arab Emirates by way of Chester, Russia.
Chimaev's best chance, it's not going to be grappling. It's going to be maybe if he slips right and does an overhand or something, or if he gets lucky. But it's like at the end of the day, guys, you could bring the best grappler in the fucking world, and you could have us grapple for an hour. I will win. I will win. All I fucking do is grapple. You guys, what do you guys think? The reason why I don't post grappling is because it's fucking gay. I could go show me and Michelle trying to give each other CTE, and that's great. Do you really want to see me and two guys in the missionary position? Just like, it's fucking gay, dude. I don't want to do it.
So we didn't get a ton of takedowns in this fight. Let's see how. Now this is where you can line up. This is where one little shot changes everything. This is where this knee digs to the gut. Watch it. Boom. Digs the knee to the gut. When you're breathing the wrong way, when you're breathing in, boom, and then you get smacked with that knee. Those ribs, they drive into your.
Are you giving him a chance here against Khamzat? Like, we saw some pretty good wrestling takedown defense against Hernandez.
No, I'm not giving him a chance. You know, Hernandez and Khamzat are completely different levels of grapplers and the way they approach their strategy. So I think Khamzat's going to take him down and submit him. You know, obviously, you know, Schmo went and watched them spar back at Extreme Couture a couple years ago, and he pretty much said like it wasn't competitive. Khamzat was just taking him down and submitting him. So I expect that same game plan. He's not going to be stupid and strike with Sean, you know, and make it a kickboxing fight. He's just going to make it straight grappling, and you know, I think he's going to put Strickland in some really bad positions and either submit him or just hold him out.
Be in the clinch. If Khamzat, if Strickland is able to keep it standing. And you've got Khamzat bearing down on him, greeting him to the body. Yes, I mean, the jab, if you can get it going, is great, but knees up the middle, clinching up and then firing knees up the middle. He's done it in previous fights to an extent. You got some of that in the Fluffy fight. I actually think that is a more suitable path. But that is really only possible, with some exception, with the expanse of time. There has to be a lot of time on the feet for you to see something like that, or a very aggressive pace, but while keeping it standing from Khamzat. So if Khamzat is fighting a little bit more judiciously, it's going to be a little bit harder to get.
Khamzat Chimaev taking on Sean Strickland represents a matchup where fans and experts completely divide on the final outcome. Some observers focus heavily on the grappling aspect, believing the winner is obvious. Different voices argue that Strickland has the ability to force an entirely different style of battle. Opinions vary wildly across the board, and this uncertainty creates massive intrigue.
Adding on to that, I think, man, if the guy who fought Fluffy shows up, he beats Khamzat.
What was it up close that impressed you the most?
His jab. You know, when we talk, everybody talks about he's just jabbing, but man, that jab was a thump, man. It looked like Larry Holmes. He was like Larry.
Really?
He looked like the white Larry Holmes with that jab. Like, and I'm telling you, because like most people when they jab, it's just kind of like a flick jab, or it's stiff, but it doesn't land. But the way Sean was throwing it, coming from low and high, it was heavy. It had mass behind it. And every time Fluffy blocked it, you saw Fluffy felt it. Even when he was blocking it, he felt that jab, and it really deterred Fluffy from shooting. And I was like, yo, I never knew Sean had a jab like that. I thought it was just a regular jab, but that jab was.
And Sean Strickland, not at the White House card, but he's got a title fight against Khamzat Chimaev. How does that thing play out?
I think Khamzat wins by dominant takedowns. Khamzat tries to stand with Strickland. I think Strickland picks him apart on his feet. But I don't think it's going to be like that. Everybody watched his last match, the way Khamzat wrestled or fought. He wrestled really, really well. He's aggressive, you know. I want to say world champion, but Olympic champion style of wrestling, where it's just like Khabib, just on you like a wet paper bag, or you know, just on you, on top of you, nonstop, where you can't get away from him. And this kind of goes back to when I fought Randy Couture. It felt like I had an oak table on top of me, and I could not get away at all. And that's how Khabib fights. That's how Chimaev fights, and that's just aggression. That's how I used to fight. Be the same thing. Guys could not get away from me, and once I dragged him to the ground, I was like, I was done.
Below, we gather real perspectives from inside the mixed martial arts community, detailing how this clash might unfold. Din Thomas admitted he completely changed his mind regarding who will emerge as the winner against Sean Strickland after watching his technique in person. Originally, Thomas felt absolutely certain about a Khamzat Chimaev triumph, viewing Strickland as merely another stepping stone for the undefeated fighter. However, sitting right next to the Octagon and witnessing that specific display live made Thomas realize Strickland holds genuine potential for an upset.
I would have said there's no way. I think Sean's great, but you know, he's just going to be another victim for Khamzat. But after watching him fight Fluffy up close and personal, again, cage side, man, I think Sean could pull this off, man. I'm actually thinking if that Sean Strickland shows up, I think he pulls this off, man. I think he defends a couple shots. He will get taken down, but I think he gets back to his feet. And then if he can get his jab going, his jab and those teep kicks going, because what Sean does well naturally is already a good defense towards a guy like Khamzat. And it's not like he's got to do anything different. Just what he does good naturally is already a good start for beating a guy like Khamzat. So
he mentioned that if we see that exact ball version of Sean show up inside the cage, he possesses all the tools to secure a victory. The analyst subsequently highlighted the striking abilities of Strickland, particularly praising his straight punches and front kicks as natural weapons against a grappler like Khamzat Din. Noted how Sean requires very little adjustment since his standard forward-moving approach inherently generates.
Adding on to that, I think, man, if the guy who fought Fluffy shows up, he beats Khamzat.
What was it up close that impressed you the most?
His jab. You know, when we talk, everybody talks about he's just jabbing, but man, that jab was a thump, man. It looked like Larry Holmes. He was like Larry.
Really?
He looked like the white Larry Holmes with that jab. Like, and I'm telling you, because like most people when they jab, it's just kind of like a flick jab or it's stiff, but it doesn't land. But the way Sean was throwing it, coming from low and high, it was heavy. It has mass behind it. And every time Fluffy blocked it, you saw Fluffy felt it. Even when he was blocking it, he felt that jab, and it really deterred Fluffy from shooting. And I was like, yo, I never knew Sean had a jab like that. I thought it was just a regular jab, but that jab was
massive tactical issues. Even when opponents block these strikes, the impact remains significant, and he feels this specific jab will fatigue Khamzat. While ruining his takedown entries, Tim Welch shifted the focus toward the potential early hazards Sean Strickland might face during the opening moments of the contest. He highlighted how standing completely upright with stiff legs might provide Khamzat Chimaev with massive openings to secure easy early takedowns. He suspects the opening 10 minutes represent the highest threat level because Khamzat will probably dictate the pace through heavy top control. According to Welch, the primary mystery surrounding this main event remained quite straightforward. Can Strickland weather the initial onslaught and prevent himself from taking massive damage right away? Welch then detailed the exact path Strickland must take to completely flip the momentum in his favor. He mentioned that surviving the early grappling exchanges
back in the day, I mean, Dreykus just swings hard. That's all he does. He swings hard, he swings explosive, and he didn't have anything for Khamzat until that 5th round. Strickland can sit here and go like this. Just annoying, this tap, 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 punching you literally at 60%. So he's used to these 5-round fights.
Forces the battle to remain standing, where the entire dynamic shifts relentless jabbing forward pressure and vast experience. Going 25 minutes will inevitably drain the energy reserves of Khamzat Welch. Emphasized how heavily the public is underestimating Strickland while viewing this as an incredibly perilous matchup for the favorite. He concluded by stating that if any middleweight possesses the cardio to drag Khamzat into deep waters, Strickland offers the absolute highest probability.
Thumping.
I just got to know, man, from your breakdown in your mind, how do you feel like that fight's going to go?
I think Khamzat is a very tall task, very difficult to deal with. I think we're looking at like round 1, round 2, Khamzat being very dominant. But I also think there's a world where, you know, all of a sudden things don't go so well because, man, Sean can wrestle. and all of a sudden round 2, Sean's defending. Round 3, round 2, round 3, Sean starts to defend, kind of finds his place, and he starts to take over the rounds. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. But I would definitely lean towards Khamzat in the first couple of rounds, and then maybe Sean's able to make a comeback. It's a tough fight for Sean for sure, but you know, Sean's familiar with tough fights, and you know, stepping up into these positions.
Meanwhile, Beneil Dariush offered a highly balanced perspective, noting that Khamzat remains a massive puzzle to solve, particularly early on. He anticipates Khamzat completely running the show during the first round and potentially the second by utilizing heavy forward pressure and elite grappling. Yet Dariush envisions a realistic path where the momentum swings entirely in the opposite direction as the clock ticks down. He outlined a situation where Strickland tightens his takedown defense, discovers his striking flow, and steals the momentum during the middle frames. Although his official prediction slightly favors Khamzat, he openly acknowledged that Strickland carries the necessary skills to adapt and flip the script entirely. He characterized this as a brutal uphill battle for Sean, yet simultaneously a matchup where a late surge remains highly probable, assuming he escapes the initial danger.